I really believe my whole career and up to this point, which we'll talk more about Veterans Lodge, God has prepared me. It's always easy to look back and say, wow, I know why that happened or why I learned that. And to understand where you are than it is to look ahead and say, what am I going to do in the future? As I say, one of my quotes is, life's best understood looking backwards, but we have to live our life looking forwards.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? So today's episode is brought to you by our proud sponsor, Elevated Silence. This is one of my favorite sponsors, not only because Jim Hood is a very dear, close friend of mine. He's been on this podcast several times, but because I am an avid user of this product. As you guys know, I love to go to the range. I love to train civilians and law enforcement, and this is a suppressor that I use each and every time I go to the range. I can tell you this, every time I bring it out, I get nothing but compliments of just how quiet it is. People are always looking for these differences in suppressors. They want it lightweight, but with lightweight, it's probably going to be a little bit louder. The heavier the weight, it's going to be quieter. And I think Jim has found the perfect combination of both, which is why I love the suppressor. He makes everything from 22 to 300 Norma. So if you guys are looking for a suppressor for your rifle or pistol, be sure to check Elevated Silence out. Use the code SMS15 to get 15% off. And also he has some awesome merch for these red hats and this red shirt right now. If you purchase it, a percentage of the proceeds goes to the American Suppressor Association, which will defend your rights to be able to use suppressors as you should, as any American should. All right? Thank you, and God bless.
All right, welcome back to Shoot Me Straight with Eddie and Dave. Today we got an awesome guest, Sam Brasfield. He is did I say that correctly?
Yep.
All right. You were a Navy chaplain?
Yeah,
correct?
That's right. No, I was a Navy EOD officer. But hey, I'll take chaplain, brother.
I don't think it's a chaplain.
Okay. Dude, I thought you were a chaplain this whole time.
I was an aviation electrician's mate.
Why did I get... Dude,
And I became an
We were
EOD
talking
guy.
about chaplains before this.
yeah, because... Hold on. I'm going to pull this up right now because I got to...
This is awesome. Yeah.
No, you were something else before in EOD.
I've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I can
That
give you
is nuts, dude. Why did I have that in my mind?
We were
You
talking
a
about-
chaplain.
I
had
love
in
it,
my
man.
mind yesterday.
You weren't watching your language, though. What's up, buddy?
No, because I've been around chaplains. I'm like, I was actually going to harass you the whole podcast.
Love it.
Well,
Dude.
that makes sense. And then you
Yeah.
know what? When you came in, I'm like, this dude does not have the demeanor of a chaplain whatsoever.
What kind of chaplain is this?
But as my wife says, all EOD guys look the same. Do I look like an EOD guy?
Yeah.
And look at my hat, brother.
There you go.
Hey, come on, pick up on your cues there, Eddie.
I wanted to know. I thought you were supporting EOD as a chaplain. I'm like, this guy's cool.
Love it.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right.
You were
so-
good friends with Aaron, or you are good friends with Aaron Hall, correct?
Aaron Hale. That's
Hale.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aaron's the man, dude.
Aaron's a
I
good buddy.
love
of mine.
that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, we had him on. Okay, cool.
I listened to the one he had you on, actually.
Oh, really?
I think it was recently.
Yeah.
When I was on the trail, I listened to a lot of his podcasts.
He's such a great
he's
guy.
blind
He's awesome.
and mostly deaf, pretty much deaf, right?
Pretty much deaf. He had cochlears done, and only
Yeah.
one side took, the left
Yeah.
side. So you can really only hear through his cochlear on his left
Dude,
side.
I remember. What I remember from having him on was just after that podcast, you're like, dude, this guy has such a great attitude.
He is
This guy
awesome,
is
brother.
like so optimistic.
Awesome.
Makes
I
you-
could tell you so many stories about him, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He is. He is.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm sure we know a lot of the same people.
Oh, I guarantee
I'm sure.
it. Yeah, that's right.
Thing
Oh,
is-
awesome. Well, now that makes it. Now I'm like, all right.
yeah.
You know what a chaplain does in the Navy, right?
Yeah, they're like a counselor.
I was explaining
right?
to him before you came.
That's right.
They're
That's
like
right.
a counselor / pastor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
Is that
right.
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like to think I've filled that void some.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure more
Some
than
of my
most
buddies.
chaplains have.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
buddies would tell you. So,
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I like the introduction.
Yeah, hey, there
Who
we
you are,
go.
brother?
Yeah, starting off the year right, huh?
We tried.
There'll be some people that listen to this that will get a really good kick out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I promise
I'm
you.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Most people, we try not to learn. Even yesterday when I was talking, or day before when I was talking to you.
Yeah, that's
like I
right.
try and get as least amount of information
Yeah.
as possible,
Yeah.
just so that we can hear it kind of for the first time.
Sure.
Because when you've already repeated a story to someone and you're repeating it again to them, sometimes you'll skip over certain parts, or
Good point. Yeah.
and it's like
yeah.
the first time you hear it, So like even when you were telling me going through yesterday, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear too much, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
you were 34 years or 36 years?
36 years, 7 months, and 3 days.
Wow.
But who's counting, right?
Yeah. That's wild.
Perfect example of somebody who just shows to work upon time, keep
Yeah.
showing up. They'll keep promoting you, keep you around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was enlisted for 10 and then did 27 as officer. So
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you. Yeah, that extends it out as
that's
well.
right. Yeah.
What did you even think? Hey, like I want to be in the military for.
No.
You
Dude, when I was in A school, you probably appreciate this. When I was in A school, aviation electrician A school, I finished number 1 in my class, and they said, "Hey, we got this good deal." My enlistment was a 4-year enlistment. They said, "Hey, if you sign another commitment for 2 more years, we'll give you 3rd class, which is E4." I was an E2 at the time.
Okay.
I was like, "No, man, I'm out of here after 4."
Yeah.
Right. But I'll tell you, a theme of my career was opportunities. As opportunities presented themselves, I like to seize opportunities. And although it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, right? It was. I had a bunch of highs through my career. I had a few lows, but overall it was a net high, and I just kept seizing opportunities as they came.
Yeah.
And I had some really good mentors, good people, definitely good people that worked with me and for me along the way that just really. I'll tell you, the whole reason I stayed in the Navy after 20 was the people.
Yeah,
Right?
and
I
that's really what it
It
what
absolutely is, right? So, most people, I wouldn't say most people, a lot of people, and myself for sure, I didn't join the Navy because I was this big patriotic guy. You grew up as a military brat. My dad was in the Marine Corps, but then I never knew him as a Marine, other than he was
Yeah.
always a Marine.
I'm the same way. I didn't join because I was like, oh, I want to go serve my country. I mean, that's obviously that's
right.
in the description. But
Yeah.
I joined because I was like, I need to make something of myself. I
That's
was going nowhere.
That's
So,
right. Yep. Same with me. I was not ready for college.
Yep.
Not college material. Lucky I made it out of high school, and
Same.
there was an opportunity, as we talked about, like join the Navy, see the world.
Yeah.
That's what I tell these young kids too. Like nowadays, like even my daughter's husband when he joined, it's these you talk to these 18, 19-year-old, and I'll say men because I haven't ever talked to a woman to join the military. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just I can just relate to more with men. But I'm like these young kids, 18, 19. Most kids, if they're not going to college or if they haven't been like prepping to go to college, they're kind of lost. And it's like, dude, there's depending on where you live, there's only a certain amount of opportunities that are presented to you. Like here on 30A, it's like, great, man, you can go work the kitchen scene for the next 10 years and do all that. I was like, but if you join the military, and it's very, when you're talking to these kids, it is like, for them, it's very scary to think, oh, join the military.
Yeah.
Because one, they have no idea what it is, what it entails. And I think they look at it as like, oh, I'm going to end up going to war or whatever,
That's
know.
right.
But what I tell them, I'm like, just like you brought up, I'm like, it will give you a plethora of opportunities.
That's right.
I'm like, and you can really choose your own adventure while you're in.
Yep.
I was like, but you have to take advantage of those while you're in there.
Yep.
And I mean, he's now a little over a year in. And
What service is he?
Air Force, med tech. I told him, I was like, hey,
Oh, nice.
because he was like, I really don't want to go to, he wasn't like that type of person. I was like, well, go join the Air Force. I'm like, still, they'll give you plenty of opportunities and you'll be treated a lot better.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah,
You get a kick out of this. My oldest boy, we already talked a little bit about my 2 boys, but my oldest boy always says, I've heard this 100 times, Dad, I moved 9 times in the first 12 years of my life. I'm not joining the military. And I'd always say, well, you don't have to join the military. Join the Air Force.
Yeah.
And you can stay in the same place for a long time. Not always true, but do you think about the Air Force? There's some places there, they stay put.
Yeah.
So it was funny, though. And then he was a senior in high school, and a good friend of his brother came home from the Army. He was going to college. And my boy Pate came home. He's like, Dad, you're not going to believe what, whatever her name was. His brother told me. I was like, what? He told me, he said, you don't have to join the military. You should join the Air Force because you can stay in the same place. I said, dude, I've been telling you that for years. He's like, well, I thought you were joking. I was like, well, I kind of was, but I was serious too, right? So, yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. And that's also the beauty of being a parent is like your kids will listen to somebody else
That's right.
that said the
Exactly.
exact same thing. And
Exactly.
You're like, all right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you had no obviously intention of joining growing up.
Well, yeah, that's where I was going with that. I joined because to see the world and maybe get some money to go to college, right? And I mentioned I only plan on doing 4 years and then going to college. And then one thing led to another. I made 2 deployments on the aircraft carrier, the Forrestal. So that dates me right there. 89, 90, 91, 92 to the Mediterranean. Was a flight deck final checker troubleshooter. So white shirt, fixing jets and launching jets. And then had the opportunity to go to shore duty, go to sea school and go to shore duty. I was like, all right, well, I'll go to college on shore duty and then get out. And then one thing led to another, you know, really good mentors, good friends. And they said, man, you should try this program, enlisted commission program. Well, I'd gotten interested in flying because I had been a backseater and I was like, yeah, I'd like to fly, you know, and there'd be one way to do it. So I'll just apply. I applied and got picked up right off the bat. So went enlisted commissioning program, ended up going to Auburn University right up the road. And anyway, I could tell you the whole, you know, treetops of my career, but one thing led to another. Got commissioned when I was 29, and back then you couldn't get your eyes fixed. Navy pilots have to have 20/20 uncorrectable, right? So,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I had a buddy who had been EOD. The only thing I knew about EOD is on the Forrestal, my second deployment, I had PT'd with him on the hangar deck a few times.
Yeah.
And that's all I knew. And ended up coming down to Det, Panama City, and meeting a guy. He's actually a twin pin, JT Turner. He was a SEAL and then went EOD and then became an officer.
Okay. There's not that many of those.
No, very few. These days, I don't think there are any, but back then there were just a few.
Yeah.
There's another guy, retired Master Chief Butch Despard. Do you know him? He's a character, man. You should meet him. But anyway, JT was my mentor. He's my mentor to this day, dude. I reach out to him. He's retired, lives in Panama City. But anyway, that's how I ended up going to EOD, and then one thing led to another. I mean, the Navy paid me to get my bachelor's degree, as I mentioned, through ECP. Later on, after coming from Iraq, I went to Monterey and got my master's degree. You know,
Nice.
no money, and got my bachelor's and my master's. So there's been tons of opportunities along the way. But I'll give you the treetops on my EOD career. So from back then, we had to do a ship tour. You'd go to dive school and then go to a ship, get your SWO pin, and then you were eligible to go to EOD school, and which is explosive ordnance disposal. And so I was on a mine hunter down in South Texas when 9/11 happened. And so that was September of 2001. And then I left and went to EOD school in 2002. And then 2003, went to Mobile Unit 2 in Virginia Beach. Deployed a few times, did a deployment to Kuwait right after the war kicked off. In Ash Shweba, Kuwait Naval Base there, doing unexploded ordnance, and we didn't really have IEDs down there at that time. A lot of unexploded submunitions and stuff, and we went in there during Desert Storm and freaking killed all the Iraqis and you know, dropped submunitions. So there's a lot of UXO to handle while we were there. And then came back, did another workup with a detachment, and then shattered my tib fib on a parachute jump like weeks before deployment. So I got pulled back and then put on another det and then deployed to Baghdad in November of 05. So November of 05 to May of 06, Baghdad bomb squad. I don't know if were you around then, or you said you went through Buds in
04. So yeah, and then we deployed first to Iraq near Ramadi of 05 and hit near Al-Assad, in between Al-Assad and Ramadi.
Yep. Okay. So I was downtown in Baghdad, Karada Peninsula. I had the whole area, was our whole AO. Really busy, you know, 05, 06 was the peak of it. We did 300 IEDs in 6 months, so improvised explosive devices, 6 car bombs.
It's part of EOD. I think of you're going in and you're detaching the red wire.
I mean, quite honestly, it depends on life and limb, right? Like, very rarely do we do that. I mean, if there was an IED in the White House and we wanted to prevent blowing up the White House, we might go in and cut some wires. But typically, like in Iraq, a lot of this shit was roadside. That's right. It was. I mean, we wanted to get intel. My team was one of the ones that disarmed one of the first EFPs, because we wanted to get some intel off of explosive form projectiles. But that's right. But most of the time, to answer your question, it was like, check it out, look for any other secondary devices, blow it up. And we didn't really care about putting holes in the road. I mean, it depended on where it was. There was one VBIA that was right next to a mosque, and my senior chief, his name's not going to be mentioned, but my senior chief ended up high ordering that V bid right next to Moss, which, you know, he caught a lot of flack on that, but it is what it is, right? Like, but he wouldn't have gone and pulled wires, you know, just evacuate the mosque. If it blows up, it blows up. So to answer your question, most of the EOD in Iraq, Afghanistan, you know, some of it was, you know, on foot. In Afghanistan was you didn't have much choice, right? You come across something, you got to do something hands-on. But most of it's remotely as remote as possible and blow it in place and then look for other stuff and handle it.
How'd you blow, like, so if you're going down a road, you see, it's like, sometimes it was like a trash can, or there was just something.
A lot of trash, yeah, a lot of trash. That
Would you just shoot it with a gun?
no, that's the last thing you'd want to do. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, there were people that did that, yes, but we would tell them don't do that because then you just piss it
That's
off,
what,
and then like
usually
it's
the
more
Marines,
hazardous.
you got to tell them like,
That's right.
Stop,
That's right.
Stop
That's
playing
right.
with the explosive
Yeah.
device. Let us handle it.
I mean, without getting in TTPs, but bottom line is we had robots that we
Yeah,
used,
yeah.
and we would place charges and blow them up.
Yeah.
Place charge on a place where you knew it was going to high order the high explosives because that's what you want to blow up. You don't want to put a charge right next to it and it's like shooting it, right, and piss it off. Now it's just more hazardous. You place it on the item and make it go away. So, and most of the stuff we did. Now VBID's a whole nother, car bombs, vehicle-borne IEDs, a whole nother ball game.
Okay.
So we did, in those 300 IEDs, we had about 6 car bombs, and I was a team leader and the OIC of the team. So I rolled with the team, disarming IEDs.
Officer
My other
in
two,
charge.
yep, that's right. And then my other 2 teams were rolling. They had a senior chief and a first class were the team leaders, and but my team, we got 5 of those 6 car bombs. So you can imagine my senior chief was pretty pissed. Like, and the one he did put a hole in a mosque, so he caught a lot of fight. And he's a freaking rock star, but you know.
And that's like, so,
He can relate. So,
yeah.
yeah.
The
that's
reason
right.
he'd be pissed is, you know, they want to disarm. Like, you want to be the one disarming those because it goes on your eval as well, right?
Well,
like, not just for those purposes, but it's like, hey, this individual disarmed this many.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, we wouldn't put it on the eval. It was mainly bragging rights, man. Right?
Yeah.
Because a VBID, you wouldn't just place a charge. You would pick it apart.
Yeah.
And there's different ways we picked it apart. I don't really want to get into TTPs, but we have different tools to disrupt it, and then pick the pieces apart, preferably remotely as much as possible.
Yeah.
There were times when we were down on top of stuff and be like,
Yeah.
hey, cut that, right? So that did happen, but that's not your going in. But point is like bragging rights, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there's
yeah, we
that.
did 6, but it really wasn't about evals. I never put how many
See, I think because my last
awards we would
deployment,
do it.
we had 3 EOD personnel attached to us. It was 1 officer, 2 enlisted. And I'll tell you, that deployment, there was the amount of IEDs that we came across had, out of all my other deployments, it was like insane.
And this was in Afghanistan.
This was, we were taking back Mosul from ISIS.
Okay.
Okay. 2017.
Yeah.
We easily run into the first hour going out 50 IEDs. They were all over the place, and I'm talking hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of
50 in an
VBIDs.
hour?
VBIDs everywhere.
They had a time where they set it up before we came in there, right?
Yeah, they had 2 years to like
That's right.
prep. So
Yeah, Mosul was
what I ended up having to do, because I was the platoon chief, is, you know, the EOD guys, they were like, holy cow. So they were, you know, boom, disarming or whatever, you know, they're trying to blow in place. And it got to a point where I was like, listen, man, we can't. Like, we're done doing this, chasing IEDs. There's IEDs all over the place. I was like, this is stopping us from getting the mission done.
Sure.
I was like, so if it's not within our immediate area that's affecting us, I'm like, we'll mark it for the Iraqis to take care of or whatever. But when, you know, talking to the EOD guys, they're like, well, because they were in competition with the other platoon that was out there with the EOD guys.
Sure.
And they're like, well, we need to get the numbers up because that's how we get promoted. And I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. That's why I brought that up, because I didn't.
That was a different time too, right?
Yeah.
So 05, 06, it was just like, so Army owned the AO. I worked for the Army, Navy guys, but there was Air Force guys. There was Marines out there doing all very similar, you know, the work. And in the time, it was just like, we were, you know, I never saw it as a numbers game other than bragging rights, right?
Yeah.
Like, we did this and experience. So, but yeah.
Why would you not use robots to do that all the time. Like,
So
Time.
some place that time, sometimes you can't get a robot in it. Like in Afghanistan, there was places where
Yeah.
you might, or your robot goes down. We always carried an extra, but sometimes that doesn't happen.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's time.
sometimes you make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
Like
For
I've
sure.
made them, like stupid decisions, and you're like, look, there's no freaking IED down there. I'll put on the bomb suit and walk down, and your guys are like, hold on, what are you doing? Like, I know. All right, let's think through this, So, but the longer you're somewhere, the more you say, okay, I've done it this way or whatever.
Yeah.
But typically, if you can do something remotely, which robot is in the robots that we had were, they continued to get better and better
Sure.
in the ways we used them. I had one guy on my team that could freaking open up a car. So VBIDs, a lot of times we'd shoot the windows out. I'm not going to talk TTPs, but we'd shoot the windows out.
Yeah.
Well, one of my guys is such a good robot operator. He's like, sir, I can open the door on that. I was like, really?
Yeah.
With a Talon, which is a small robot. I was like, give it a try. And he did it, right?
Oh, wow.
We had one suspected suicide bomber who ended up being grenades on his belt, but we didn't know that. He's like, I'm gonna take his clothes off. And he stripped this dude naked. What was wild?
With the robot?
With the robot.
Oh, wow.
What was wild was funny about this. I'm not gonna mention the dude's name, but his mom's Filipino, his dad's white, so he's somewhat Asian.
Yeah.
And this guy was Asian. And when we turned him over, I'm like, dude, it's an Asian guy. And he's like, no, he's not. I'm like, no, he is. Because, in Iraq, it was people from all over.
Yeah.
It was the people coming from all over to freaking fight the infidel. Right?
Oh.
Yeah, all the foreign fighters.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, kind of got off. But anyway.
You had a lot of different people coming in that were like propaganda. That they had bought into the propaganda.
Dude, my last deployment, we were killing Americans. Americans that had come over to Iraq to join ISIS.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 So anyway, I did Iraq tour, then went to graduate school. As I mentioned, probably one of the best things the Navy ever did to me. Came from Iraq in summer of '06 and went to Monterey, California, where it was air conditioned 24/7, riding my bike to school. And then after I got my graduate degree, I went to SOCOM and did counter IED stuff. So I was all over the world. It was doing systems for SOF, so all the, not just the SEALs, but the Army SOF, Air Force SOF, MARSOC, and I was doing fielding and training, so I was all over the place. 30 months, I was everywhere and anywhere where we were, and it was a phenomenal tour.
Really? Was that a lot different than your whole career?
It was totally different, but it was wild, man. I was doing work because I'd been an electrician, and I was, as an officer, I was downrange installing jammers and stuff, which I was totally comfortable with that because I'd done that kind of stuff on jets, right? And installing jammers and up armored vehicles, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good. I really believe my whole career and up to this point, which we'll talk more about Veterans Lodge, God has prepared me. It's always easy to look back and say, wow, I know why that happened or why I learned that. And to understand where you are than it is to look ahead and say, what am I going to do in the future? As I say, one of my quotes is, life's best understood looking backwards, but we have to live our life looking forwards, right? So anyway.
Hey, what's up, guys? If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a huge fan and supporter of Firecracker Farm. Alex, the owner, is not only an incredible human being, but he makes an incredible product. And that is why we could not be happier that they are sponsoring the Shoot Me Straight podcast. Each guest, when they come in, will get a sample of Firecracker Farm so they can take it back and enjoy. And I can tell you, to each person that we've given it to, they have not been disappointed. You can put these, put this salt on your favorite food, favorite beverage. I've even seen people put it in their coffee. They love it. There's an assortment of heat, so if you don't like it too hot, they definitely have that taken care of with some mild flavors. And then it goes all the way to extreme heat if you like to sweat. So if you guys are interested in purchasing some, go to firecracker.farm. All right, thank you for listening, and God bless.
Yeah, I think that answered your question. Bottom line is, it was a lot of things happened that I'd learned in the past that were helping me out. So from there, out of SOCOM, I've been in the Navy 20 years. Like, hey, why am I going to stick around in the Navy? And I came up with 3 reasons. I was like, first of all, is it still good for my family? Is my wife still supportive of it and my kids? And And at that time, it was good. My wife was all in, and we were loving it. Number two is like, hey, I want to feel like I'm adding value. It could be argued whether I added value or not, but like I felt like I was still adding value. And then the third one was kind of a throwaway, but it was like, am I still having fun?
Yeah.
But I've proven that I can have fun in any job, and I'll tell you. So I did that tour at SOCOM, and I was at 20 years, and they offered me to be XO of the dive school over in Panama City. Well, dive school was awesome as a student. I went there in 99 as a 31-year-old, 30-year-old, and it was phenomenal. Loved it. So I'm like, sure, I'll do XO at dive school. So I went and was XO at dive school. Loved that.
What's the XO?
Executive officer. As my wife used to call it, like the vice principal of dive school.
You're right under the commanding officer.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So did that. Loved that. Had a really awesome boss. I mean, you can imagine the staff over there. Everybody's,
I think Lucas
having fun.
is over there.
Lucas?
Golf. Or he was.
I don't know him.
Okay.
Is he a diver?
He was a PJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Air Force combat diver is also there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Army comes through there as well.
That's right. Well, Army salvage. The only people that go to Key West now are Army SOF. So there's still a Key West course that does scuba and rebreather.
Yeah.
But that's the only. The Air Force moved their school to Panama City years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the Marine combat divers also there. So anyway, did that, and then I had an awesome boss, and he's like, "Man, I got the best job for you next." And I was like, "Okay, let me hear." He says, "It's the best thing about it is DC, but it's not the Pentagon." I was like, "Okay." So I ended up going to be supervisor of diving, so diving policy and equipment and stuff, and enjoyed that. Great job. But got the bait and switch while I was up there. The admiral called me, was like, "Hey, I need you to go to the Pentagon." So I ended up going to the Pentagon and doing the budget. So back to, like, I proved I could have fun wherever I was. Like, it was still good for my family. I felt like I was adding value, although it was a steep learning curve, but I was doing, arguing for funding for certain things. And I'll tell you, although I'm still a little pessimistic about the budget and acquisition process, I'm much more optimistic after seeing it from that side, to the point of seeing it from a different side. But it was a very challenging job. And then from there, I screened for command, and but didn't go. I was supposed to go to Mobile Unit 1 in San Diego, and they changed it at the 11th hour and sent me back to dive school. So I was XO and CO of NDSTC, which I think I'm the only guy that's ever done that. We don't typically do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did that job. From there, I did, and I'm missing some little stuff, but I'm just giving you the treetops, right? Keep it short. From there, I got the opportunity to go to Rota, Spain. Went out to be the deputy commodore at CTF 68, which is a task force for expeditionary forces. So EOD, diver, CBs, that kind of stuff. And another opportunity arose to lead a group, mine countermeasures group, we were doing exercises, but we were also doing historical ordnance disposal of like World War II mines in the North Atlantic and the Baltics, which was awesome. So I was the commander of a NATO group. Like, I had 7 ships under me at one point, people from 11 different nations, and we were doing EOD bomb disposal.
Where you go find World War II bombs.
And there's tons of them.
Oh, yeah, there's
tons of them.
Tons out still, yeah.
That's
Get
right.
out of here.
Yeah. So I did that, and then wanted to retire from there. And the 3-star I was working for, a really good guy, he was like, "Sam, I can't tell you not to retire from here, but I encourage you to go back to the States to retire." So I ended up coming and finishing up over at Naval Education Training Command as the EA to the Admiral. So I did that job, and then I told him plan to retire from here, and I retired from there. So
No, you didn't want to pick up Admiral? Is there any
man,
chances of that?
I'm surprised I made Lieutenant Commander.
Yeah.
I'd never had any aspirations for Admiral.
Yeah.
I would tell you, back to my theme of opportunities, I felt like if I can do right by myself and my guys, I'm going to continue to do to the theme on opportunities. But no, I had no aspirations for Admiral.
Yeah.
The guy that I relieved at dive school and the guy that I worked for in Europe, he just made Admiral last year, and he's the right guy for it, right? But
Admiral is.
It's just
like,
a senior officer,
yeah.
and it's a tough job.
It's
it
like
really is.
C-suite for a company. Or
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a tough job, but it's very, very political.
Yes.
It's very political. And I don't have the political mind for that, nor do the desire or the never
Which would
did.
probably make you a good admin.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think this is the problem I see with leadership in the military is like the guys that join that are careerists, right? And you can take this on the enlisted
right.
and the officer side, right? They have a path. They're like, I want to be Master Chief. I want to be a 4-star admiral. 9 times out of the 10,
There aren't you guys wrong.
they're not the guys you want in that
That's right.
position because they are so focused on themselves and making that rank and getting to that position where you have guys like yourself, and I think your career path is a lot like a lot of other guys where it's like, I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. Whatever opportunity presents itself, yes, I'll go do that.
That's right.
And if I pick up rank along the way, great. It's like that's not my main concern here.
Yeah, that's right.
Those, to me, those are the guys usually that you want in charge because their headset's in the right place. You know, they're like, okay, this isn't about me. This is about the guys I'm serving with and the guys that I'm in charge of.
No, I 100% agree with
Yeah.
you. But basically what I'm saying is I don't think I have the, I mean, I'm pretty humble. I'll tell you, I don't think I have the aptitude. I don't think that in that realm. I don't. And I just don't.
You-
And I don't think that is a bad thing. It's just
You
who
know,
I am.
politically.
That's right. I don't think politically. And I'm pretty apolitical guy. Like, all right, I'm down the road, right? Down the center. So anyway, all that to say, no, I had no aspirations and
Down the center now means you're a far right Nazi.
Yeah.
That's right. Shh, be cool. That's right.
So that was it. At that point, it's like, okay, I'm retiring.
I knew I wanted to retire from Europe, man.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, after the job being the standing NATO MCM Group 1 Commodore, it was phenomenal. But I was like, yeah, I'm done. And plus, there was other things. I mean, you know, there's other things that were going on. And I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to.
Yeah. How about the family? Were they like, hey, we're ready?
That's
for you
the
to
other
push out
thing.
as
It was
well?
time for my oldest boy had gone to college and stuff. My younger boy was coming up. It was just time. You just know it when you know it. And I knew it was time for me. So anyway, so that's where I is. And then
When was that? What year?
so I just retired in March of 25. Oh, when was I in Europe?
No.
what?
When you
I retired in March of 25.
Yeah.
And I had my retirement ceremony in February. March 18th, I was still on active duty. I left and hiked the Appalachian Trail from Springer Mountain to Mount
Oh,
Katahdin.
nice.
And I'll tell you,
By yourself?
Well, all my friends, me, myself,
Yeah.
and I, right? So, no, I actually, man, this is, and I'll give a plug for it. I actually, as my wife says, Facebook knows what you're thinking. Because I was Googling something, and this is a year before I retired, and this thing came up called Warrior Expeditions. You ever heard of it? It's a nonprofit. Started out hiking the Appalachian Trail, but now they call it expeditions because they do a bike across America and they do a kayak down the Mississippi.
Nice.
But it started out Warrior Hikes. Marine started it. Sean Gobin, about 15 years ago, he got out of the Marine Corps, hiked the Appalachian Trail, learned so much. Like, man, this was good for my mental health and for what's going forward. This is a good transition to the theme on what I really want to talk about is Veterans Law. I don't feel like I'm talking too much about myself.
No, not at all.
But Sean saw, hey, there's so much value in just taking a period of time and just like decompressing. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I think you can appreciate this, Eddie. You probably can relate as well. I've been attached to a cell phone for 2 decades or more, like 24/7. 2 cell phones, personal and work, right? And one thing I did on that trail hike was for about 6 weeks, I just set it aside. I would check in with my wife. And I used Far Out, which is an app that most everybody on the trail uses to double check places to resupply and that kind of stuff. Not really navigation because you just follow the white blazes, right? And we can go the hardest direction. But getting away from, I didn't listen to podcasts. I didn't listen to music. But I just thought and like, I did a lot of talking to people because, so back to your question, did you do it by yourself? We started with 8 other combat vets at Springer Mountain, and for 4 days we were supposed to hike together, and we did. We hiked up until, for about 40 miles, and then we got off the trail, took a 0 day, and then from then on we were on our own. You have enough to do it on your own. They gave us all their equipment. They bought us a new pair of shoes every month, which you wear out a pair of shoes every month, literally, because 400 or 500 miles, and you're in.
Wow.
But the best thing, a lot of other things they do, but the thing was the network up the trail. So Sean, when he did it, he met all these people, and he continued, because when he started the nonprofit, he just continued his network, huge network all the way up the trail.
Oh.
And people that you could just text and say, hey, I'm gonna be coming into this mile marker, can you pick me up? Sure. We pick you up, take you to resupply, take you to the house, let you sleep in their bed, take a shower, wash your clothes. So it was this huge network all the way up the trail. But I used that time to really reflect on my career and like, hey, what am I going to do next? Like, what is next? Now, I had some job offers that people were saying, hey, I want to hire you. And I told everybody, well, I'm not available, because my wife really held me accountable to the AT hike. I've been talking about it for 27 years of marriage. And she's like, when we were in Europe, she's like, well, you should just go hike the Appalachian Trail when you retire. I was like, that could take like 6 months, right? And she says, I don't care. I want you to do it. You've been talking about it. So I appreciate that.
That's a good wife. Yeah.
Well, I'm married up, brother. Trust me.
Every man worth his salt does.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, along the way, though, preparing for retirement, I would get job offers, and people would say, "Hey, we can hire you. Like we want you earlier than later." And I'm like, man, I'm not. I'm going to do this Appalachian Trail thing.
Yeah.
And when I would tell Ren about a job, she said, well, how does that affect the hike? And I was like, yeah, you got a good point. So anyway, bottom line is I found it on Facebook, Warrior Expeditions, applied, got picked up, and I started with 8 other combat vets. They were all Army. I was the only Navy guy. And after that first 4 days, you're not required to hike together, but we did. We ended up hiking together for probably 200 miles, and then things happen. People get ahead, people fall back, people leave the trail for whatever reason and come back. Like I came off the trail in Virginia to see my son graduate high school and then went back. So things like happen. So you spread out, but then you meet so many people, man. You meet tons of folks, and so you're never really alone. But then you also, most of the day when you're hiking, you are alone.
Yeah.
It's very rarely people hike the same pace as you. So anyway, yeah. But that was good. But I really reflect on what I wanted to do, and like prayed a lot, listened, like in the quietness. I mean, like literally listened. And man, it just does so much for you. We're not used to that these days.
No.
We have a phone. We're looking when we're bored. We're looking at our phone. We're listening to podcasts. Podcasts are good, but like that's all we're constantly barraged.
Yeah.
And it did me so much good. And but I kept hearing like it's time to serve others. It's time to do something different. I mean, I would say military is service, absolutely, but it's
self-service.
That's right.
It is service, and I've stated that before. I'm like, my job, like that's why it's always awkward when people, oh, thank you for your service, and I'm like, bro, I did it for selfish reasons.
Thanks for paying my
Thanks
salary.
Thanks for the adventure I had.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right. Exactly.
But yeah, but it is service. I mean, at the end of the day, you are serving your country, and but it's not the same as I'm sure what you're going to get into right now.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, the reason I stayed in the Navy so long was the people. And like, as I say, America, the best America has to offer. Not just the people, not just the veterans and the military, but the families, right? Like the ones that stick it out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's been a bunch of folks that I didn't like in the Navy and the Army, but I've loved them all. I absolutely loved them all, even though I freaking, the Marine Navy dynamic. You never hear me say a bad thing about a Marine because I love them, but they're freaking, sometimes they're knuckleheads, right?
Yeah.
But I still love them. All right. So, and I kept thinking about that during the time on the trail, especially there were a few guys that I hiked with the most out of that bunch, just because we were around the same pace and we enjoyed each other, and we kind of hiked a lot, and we talked about all sorts of stuff. We talked about the epidemic of suicide. We talked about the challenges, like some of these guys were like, I just submitted my VA stuff. I didn't know really anything about it other than I gave it to a VSO and said, all right, here's the stuff, submit it, right? And after 36 years, I had a lot of medical records, right? Like
Sure.
I couldn't even get through it all, much less, but talked about that with other veterans, and then other guys you meet on the trail that are vets that aren't with the group. And I just kept hearing, man, like, what are you going to do next? Like,
Would you say that out of all problems that veterans have transitioning out of service into is just knowing what to do, like just having direction?
Purpose.
Absolutely. I think purpose. I think, they ramp us up on all this training. They give us all this stuff institutionalize you, if you will, right? One of my, being a diver, you should be able to appreciate this, I think. But I said the Appalachian Trail was my way to decompress from the Navy. I'm still gonna have the Navy in me. I'm always gonna have the Navy in me, just like we're gonna have nitrogen in our system, right? But the high concentrations of the Navy was a time to decompress.
Yeah.
Put to your question, we do all this ramp up to prepare people to be a Navy SEAL, EOD tech, whatever their job is, even a cook, and basic training and stuff. And then when you get out, bam, you're out. You go to a 3-day transition TAP course, and you're out.
Yeah, the TAP course.
Yeah, it's a
what a
transition
joke.
assistant. It's a joke, right?
Yeah.
So it was my way of like decompressing and getting the concentration of the Navy out of me, but like reflecting and stuff. I think something like that should be mandatory for all military.
I think so as well. I mean, but it's unfortunate because I had the same exact idea. I wanted to hike the Pacific Trail.
Yeah.
So I remember telling my wife, I'm like, I want to do that. Just same thing, like get away and then be on my own. Of course, I never was able to do it, just with time constraints and everything else. But I do truly believe like something like that, like you said, takes 6 months. I mean, that's the minimum, I think, of like, hey, you need to do something, detach for this amount of time to actually start purging a lot of the stuff that has been instilled into you. And it's not that the stuff is bad, but it's like
That's right.
You need to set yourself up going forward, and you can't have that what they instilled in you. It can hold you back
Absolutely.
from moving forward.
No,
The
absolutely.
Navy had their own plans of how to transition you out.
Well, I went through a whole different transition, but it's like even you can take anybody, but it's not. And again, it's not the military's job to transition you out. It's like their job is to build you to what they want and to go put you forward and be like, go do good things for this country.
Right.
Once you're done, it's not their job to like, oh, now let's take care of you and do all these things. It's like that's on you.
Yeah.
You need to, and this is what I tell guys too. Like, because I have a lot of buddies that are recently getting out of the teams, and these guys have been in for 25, 30 years.
Right.
I'm like, dude, and I was like, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I was like, the way you need to look at transitioning out, I'm like, it's a selection process again. I'm like, you need to put the same amount of effort, grit, determination that you did going to be a SEAL or XYZ, whatever your job is. It's probably going to take more.
Yeah.
Getting out. I'm like, it's not easy, man. I'm like, it's a selection process. And I was like, the reason I look at it as a selection process is because I've had more friends now kill themselves getting out, and I'm just like, they deselected themselves. I'm like, you rang the bell at the very end.
Right.
And I'm like, and it might be like a weird way to look at it, but that's how I look at it going forward, because I struggled transitioning. We all do.
Right.
You have all these things, and it's like, okay, am I going to deselect out, or am I going to figure this out and push forward?
That's right. Yeah. So I was fortunate to do the Honor Foundation. You're familiar with
I did the Honor Foundation as well.
Phenomenal program. To your point, it's not the military's job to transition you out, but there are a lot of nonprofits that are doing great stuff, right? And I would argue it is the VA's thing, right? But should the VA be doing it or supporting people that are doing it, right? The nonprofits and private industry do it better than the VA ever could, right? So, but my point is like the Honor Foundation is a program, and I'll just give you the treetops and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Eddie, but there was a guy who went through BUDS. I think he was injured. I should know his name, and
he got pushed out, didn't he?
I think so. But he was
Musselman.
Yeah, was that? Yeah, that's right. Chris, right?
Joe
Chris.
Musselman.
Joe Musselman.
Yeah.
That's right. And he was working in like admin or whatever, and this master chief comes up, "Hey, I'm retiring next week. What have you done?" So he helped the guy prepare his resume and all this stuff. Next thing you know, other people were coming to him getting help. Well, then he got out of the Navy and started this nonprofit. It's called the Honor Foundation. It's phenomenal. So you just had to have been, a SOF MOS, Special Operations Forces MOS, or attached to a SOF command, and you applied to go to the Honor Foundation. I did it on active duty, but at night, driving to Eglin,
I did the same
working
thing.
for a 2-star, working regular hours, and driving and doing it at night. And I'm so thankful I did it, right? But I want to give a plug for Honor Foundation, another phenomenal nonprofit.
I thought it was a great course. I think what it did for me is it showed me what I didn't want to do.
Nice.
I was like,
Yeah.
because they do a great job. They bring in all these different companies. I mean, we flew to Chicago.
guys.
Yeah.
We flew to Chicago. We toured LinkedIn. We
Oh, nice.
toured all these big companies, and then they also bring in these mid-level people, and they're like, hey, and they're all hiring. They're like, they want, and a lot of them got to meet veteran quotas and everything, but they're like, hey, we could put you in this management position and this and that. And there's a lot of guys that are like, yes, that's what I want to do. For me, I would ask all these questions and like, well, what does that entail? Do you believe in what you're doing? I even asked this guy, he was a SEAL that was working at LinkedIn, and he came in and gave this whole presentation. And I'm telling you, LinkedIn was like going to Google, right? Everyone was like impressed with everything they had there. And he came in and gave a talk, and he's like, yeah, they're hiring. And and of course everybody's putting their name down like this is awesome. But I asked him one question. I was like, do you wake up every morning wanting to come here, looking forward to coming here? And he looked and paused, and I'm like, that's all I need to hear.
That's right.
And I was like, I don't care what they pay. I don't care whatever. I was like, I want to be fulfilled again.
Yeah.
But that is what the course was phenomenal, and it just showed it directs you into a path like, okay, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go try this.
So that, man, you couldn't have given me a better transition to talk about Veterans Lodge, because that's exactly where I was. I had job opportunities. Everybody I talked to about, hey, I'm doing this trail, they were awesome with that. All right, that's cool. Call us in the fall when you get done. We're excited about it. There was 2 specific jobs that I was really interested in that the whole time I was on the trail, they were hitting me up. Yep, you're still good, dude. I was telling them, hey, I'm working with this other one. One, I had to move to Northern Virginia. The other one, I could live wherever. So I was kind of leaning towards that one, but we didn't know where we were going to move. And I get off the trail based on what I learned from the Honor Foundation. I was happy about those jobs. I mean, first of all, the pay was really good, right? Yep. And I thought my wife would be happy. I didn't really want to go to D.C. unless my kid went to the Naval Academy, which he ended up not going to the Naval Academy. So I was like, I'm not going back to Northern Virginia. Got back, and the one company where I could live wherever, and there was a lot of international travel. It was a good job. And with my background, I think I was a good fit for it. But they were like, hey, we still want to hire you, but the president is ready to add the position. I was like, all right, that's cool. Just let me know. I'm really not ready to go back to work. I need my feet and back to heal anyway, right?
Yeah.
And that same day I get a call from this lady, and she's the connection. Her son is the connection between us. I don't really know how much she wants her name associated with what we're doing. For whatever reason, she's behind the scenes, so I'm not going to mention her name, but bottom line is this friend that we've known for 20 plus years, our sons grew up together, calls me, and she's telling me about this really cool veterans thing that's happening in Walton County. She's been in Walton County for years.
Does her name start with a J?
Well, so no.
Okay.
No.
I
She
wasn't
introduced
sure.
me.
Okay.
She introduced me. So she tells me about this really cool thing they're doing for veterans. She's like, hey, I want to tell you more about it. I said, send me some information. Then I get home, and it's been a week or 2, and I hadn't heard anything. She calls me. She's like, hey, I want to introduce you to the founder of Veterans Lodge, Julie Smith, right? So I'm like, awesome. So she calls me. We do a Zoom, whatever call, and I meet Julie, right? And she tells me, and she's the founder of Veterans Lodge, right? So Veterans Lodge, first of the kind campus. You know some about it, right?
Yep.
So maybe
we've talked to Julie. We 5 years ago. We were talking about Veterans Lodge with Julie. Julie is
she's a firecracker.
She's a firecracker, awesome. And she's not taking no for an answer.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But my wife, so she wanted to talk to me and my wife, and she met us, and she told us about Veterans Lodge. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I don't have a job right now. I will do anything I can to help you. I don't know what that looks like, but I'll do whatever I can, because it sounds like a really good program. So 5 years ago, COVID, all the crap that happened, there was some challenges with some stuff, utilities and so forth, and she ran into some roadblocks, but because of her tenacity and like, no, I'm gonna get this done, she didn't give up. She kept pushing it, and I'll tell you, another theme of my career has been God's timing. My wife and I wrote our song. It's called God's Timing. I can send you guys a link to listen to it. But basically, it's looking back on our lives, on our marriage, and how God lined things up. I really believe it's God's timing that she reached out to me, because I just heard from this company, like, hey, we want to hire you, but not right now. And she's like, hey, I need some help. And I've always lived below my means, so it's not like I have to get a job. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
living at my means.
Sweet.
So I'm like, all right, I'll help. But what does that look like? Didn't know what it looked like. In the meantime, I had some other buddies calling me like, hey, could you do some contractor work on the side for me? So I was like, yeah, but I'll only give you a few hours a week, maybe, 20-hour weeks, the max I can give. And they were like, okay. Because, 60-hour weeks about normal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's easily doable and you have enough time. So I figured 40 hours working Veterans Lodge, 20 doing this contract work. So I started LLC and I'm doing consulting work where I feel like I'm still contributing to the warfighter. But I'm also all in. My wife and I are all in on this Veterans Lodge thing, which is going to be awesome. So once again, first of its kind campus for veterans, 200 acres. I already mentioned to you where it is. So you go up 331 and before you get to I-10, the east side of the road, there's 1,400 acres that she owns out there.
Yeah.
200 of the acres she's donated to the Veterans Lodge. And Veterans Lodge is going to be a place for veterans and their families. Is another thing that resonated with me and Ren, because there are a lot of veterans programs, nonprofits, that do different things.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
I mean, there's a plethora.
There's a plethora. Some are really good, some are not so much, but most are doing something, some niche. But this Veterans Lodge is for veterans and their families to heal, not just physically and mentally, but spiritually.
And their families.
Yeah.
And their families. That's what resonated with my wife and I. Because Ren also has been big. My wife's Ren like the bird, WREN. And she's been big in helping and she feels a calling to help not just veterans, but their families. So anyway, it was like, what are we going to do? And, we and hopefully you will meet Julie at some point, but your wife's Andrea, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she told me she knows your wife.
Oh, yeah.
But she is just like a lot of information. It's all here. And she's got a lot of relationships. She knows a lot of people. But there was a pause in Veterans Lodge because of the roadblocks, and she needed somebody. What I gather, she didn't say, here's a job description, this is what I need you to do, which I wish she would have, because as a military guy, we're used to that. Although that didn't really tell us everything we have to do, it gives us a starting point.
Yeah.
But based on all my discussions with her, I saw it as what she wanted me to do is partners relationship coordinator. So all the relationships, nonprofits, people in the area, the veterans, rejuvenate those relationships. The other big one is fundraising. And I mentioned this to you the other day, like fundraising, I was like, I don't want any part of that, right? Like, no, thank you. But the more I've learned about the mission, I'm like excited even about the fundraising part. Like, because quite honestly, people want to be part of this. Like when they hear about what it is, they're like, okay, how can I support? And we have already, we just kind of soft opened the capital campaign with just letting friends and family know about it. We already got people like monthly donations, which I've learned so much about fundraising. I have a cousin who did this for 40 years. He's in his mid 80s and he's basically started mentoring me because I reached out to him and was like, hey, I don't know anything about this. Can you help me? Absolutely. Classes, he's written 3 books and he's on speed dial. And the dude's 84 years old and he's still got tons of energy and doing stuff. But I'm learning so much. But one thing I'm learning is there's most fundraisers, like the bulk of the funds that you get are from individuals. I would think, because one of the first questions he asked me, hey, where do y'all think you're going to get the money? And I was like, I don't know, like corporations, big corporations. He's like, you will. He said, but no, you're going to get He said, you're going to get it from individuals, and preferably high worth individuals that are willing to give more than $50 a month. But that's where you're going to get it. And so we did a soft opening, and we got tons of people, $100 here, $1,000 gifts, $500 gifts, but no big contributions yet. So we're taking, you have, first of all, also corporations, they take a while for them to because they have a board. They have to meet, and they can't just say, oh, I like that mission, I'm going to give to it, right?
They're slower, and they're gonna have to see,
progress,
write-offs and
that's right.
stuff
That's right. So one nonprofit told me, and I've been reaching out to all sorts of people that run nonprofits, and they were like, man, I got like a $12,000 check from this one big company for 12 years, and then last year I got $1 million. So it takes a while because they want to see what you're doing and how you're doing it. So it makes sense. But really, what we're focusing on now is just individuals and saying, hey, are you familiar with this? And I know people. She knows people. I'm sure you guys know people that are interested in this. And so what I would encourage you to do is, first of all, tell people about Veterans Lodge, show them the link. If someone's interested in partnering, whatever that looks like, I got people donating windows. I got people donating, gifts of kind, like doing work there.
Have they started
Breaking
development?
ground.
Yeah.
So as Julie calls it, the beautiful blue pipes, the utilities are going in.
Okay.
So if
they're
you
doing-
go,
they're done with site work and
yep, they're worked all the stuff in the background, like
Yeah.
traffic studies and all that stuff, all that things that a development order and all that
Yeah.
stuff's been. Those were the roadblocks that she was working through.
for sure. And Walton County is tough.
It's a challenge, right?
Yeah.
So, but now we're into the point where this is huge, man. We have he's a silent donor. He doesn't want to be known. He is a former Marine, which
Nice.
Hoorah, devil dog,
Yeah.
right? But he's very wealthy, and he's offered to match up to $15 million. So Julie's vision, and you might know this, is to have 7 of these veterans lodges across the U.S. in different places. The first one here in Defusing Springs, first of all, this is a perfect place for it because all the bases from NAS all the way to Jacksonville, all the bases and all the veterans that live here and all the dependents and the need for it. But then also this piece of property that she has, which is unbelievable. Next time you're up 331,
Oh, yeah.
right across from Chick-fil-A, take a
Yeah.
right and take a ride down that road and you'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work at the range that's right down the road. from
Stronghold?
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Right down the road?
I do courses out of there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome. Anyway, we're
So will people live? So the family and them will live there on the
That's
campus, and they'll get training. They'll get
yep.
So yeah, let's break down exactly like what veteran lodge
that's right.
entails because obviously like you said, there's other organizations that do things. The military itself, like I went to Intrepid Spear, which was a branch off of NICO before
That's
I got out. Which they don't. It's not for the family; it's for the individual that go there to get looked at and everything. And
Right.
they do. It's a decent job, I think, at the time. I'll say, but it's not enough. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did Home Base. Are you familiar with Home
Yes.
Base?
Mhm.
Which is another nonprofit funded by the Red Sox originally, and now it's grown. And to your point, it's really good. They do some stuff medically for dependents, not as much. But so yeah, let's step back. So Veterans Lodge, our immediate we want to get is 2.5 million to build, so we can start doing stuff, right? And it will be matched, and we'll build the place so we can start having events for veterans and bringing them in. But really, what it is bring the veterans and their families in. They do a blueprint for care. First of all, see where they're at physically and mentally, right? TBI, she has in the queue a number of cutting edge treatments. First of all, HBO treatments, hyperbaric oxygen treatments. It is a proven way to heal quicker in a lot of ways. Trust me, I know. We used to do them at dive school as we could.
I did them when I got out. I did 60 dives.
Did you really? Did you pay for them, or did someone pay for them?
No,
A nonprofit.
the Mighty Warriors, Debbie
Nice.
Lee, Mark Lee's mom, who I
yeah.
went to Buzz with Mark, and
Okay.
he was the first SEAL killed in Iraq. So
Yep.
yeah, she has out of the Mighty Warriors, she funded it.
Nice. So that's another way for repair and rehabilitation. But anyway, get these warriors and their family members physically healthy, mentally healthy, and then she's partnered with a nonprofit called Operation Restored Warrior. So Veterans Lodge per se.
That as well.
Wow. Then you need to tell me more about it, right? So I'm hoping to go in February. I'm in the queue to go in February. I got on the wait list. So Veterans Lodge per se is not spiritual. It's about getting the veterans and their families physically and mentally well. But as Julie says, ultimate healing is our goal, right? Like, and Operation Restore Warrior. So Eddie, if you would talk a little bit about what that is, you could probably talk much more articulate about what it is.
Yeah, so I mean, and I don't want to divulge too much because when I went, it was very like hush hush. Don't like I couldn't.
Yeah,
The person going is not supposed to really know what's going to go on there. But I'll just do like you said, the treetops of it. They bring you out to an undisclosed location. You're there, I think, for like 3 or 4 days, and it is a spiritual retreat. It's not what I liked about it, it's not treated as such where they're just like shoving it down your throat. You know, I was there with a lot of, I think I was there with 5 other veterans, and most of these guys are broken. That, you know, good dudes, just broken inside. And so what this place does is really help you find yourself spiritually. It gives you a renewed sense of purpose of life. There is a culmination at the end, which I don't want to really divulge, but it is, I can tell you this. I did Ibogaine as well. I've done the plant medicine. I did that actually before I went to Operation Restore Warrior, but I can tell you the effects are the exact same.
Wow.
It's just Operation Restore Warrior. There's no drugs involved.
Yeah.
But the things I saw at that place at the end, what I went through, and then what I saw other people go through, it's almost
a miracle.
Yeah, I was gonna say miraculous is the word I would have for it.
Nice.
And it really helps guys when they get out of it, and sets them, like, it just gives them a new perspective on life, and then sort of a new purpose going forward.
Nice.
It's one Jimmy went to too.
Jimmy went to it as well. I've sent a couple friends that really I was like, you need to go.
Yeah. So what I know about it, it's been around for about 18 years. Started out mainly for warriors coming back from battle.
Yep.
But is opened up to all sorts of people, first responders, other civilians. Kelsey Grammer went through it.
I went through with there was a celebrity that were there.
Yeah, and he was recently like their keynote speaker. So point is like Veterans Lodge will have a place for Operation Restored Warrior. So on campus where they can do these events. Of course, no one's gonna be forced to go to that.
Sure.
But like, you know,
it's like the way when I talked to Julie about it when she was describing to me, it's an a la carte. It's just an a la carte of treatments that's going to be at this Veterans Lodge. Where
that's right.
You don't have to. Nothing's going to be mandated, but
Right.
I'm sure over time, once people go through there, they will have like, okay, what are you dealing with? Okay, you have
That's
this and this. Hey, this will work for you right
That's
here.
right.
These treatments in a row.
Absolutely.
Try these out.
We do have a blueprint for treatment, right?
Yeah.
Someone comes in, get evaluated. All right, we're going to put them through this, this, and this. But we don't have, to your point, it's not prescribed because quite honestly, everybody's not in the same
different.
place. That's right. I recently talked to a guy, Sean Alderman, Dr. Alderman. He was a SF guy. He was 18 Delta and then went to medical school and was a doctor with Special Forces. And he incorporated the POTF, the Preservation of the Force and Family, at 5th Group up in, and then got out. And his family donated this property up in Minnesota. So he started a place. It's called Magnus Veterans Foundation. Really good. I hope to go up and visit it because it sounds very similar to Veterans Lodge, but it's mainly for Minnesotan veterans. I think he said 90% have been from Minnesota.
Okay.
And it's, anyways, doing good stuff. But the point is like he has a blueprint. And he told me, he's like, dude, we will share that with you, which Julie already has something laid out. Right, a roadmap, if you will, for different veterans, but it changed to your point, a la carte. It's going to be different.
Yeah, because everybody's different.
And family members, not just the veterans, but the family members.
And I think that is huge as well because I think that's one thing where I've seen left out of the healing process. Where yes, you can focus on the individual himself, and that's great. But the family has also gone through years of service, and they need, some help too getting back online. And if you're not doing that together, you can treat the individual all day long, and then he might come back. And I'll tell you this, like a perfect example is like the plant medicine treatment, where guys go and do this plant medicine, and they come back and they're, oh my gosh, I've seen the light. I'm a whole new person now. But when they come back, they're not getting the greeting that they thought because the wife is like, then like, well, I'm still dealing with all the shit that you did or whatever else through our career. So then there's another whole roadblock to hit, right? So I think it's really, the family needs to be involved as well.
Yeah.
The wife probably feels like I've sacrificed all these years while you were in service. Now that you're out, now I'm not getting you.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. And
that's right.
But what about us?
Yeah. What about us? Yeah. So, another thing about Veterans Lodge, I mentioned it's 1,400 acres. The surrounding acreage is going to be all complimentary to Veterans Lodge, right? So what she allows to come in, and she's held off on letting people. I mean, it's nice property.
Yeah.
It's it's nice property, and people will want to get that property. But everything around there, depending on housing, other venues, is all going to complement Veterans Lodge. So it's going to be like a veterans village, if you will, up there. So it's exciting to see, man. I tell you,
1,400 acres is a lot of land.
it is, and it's beautiful. Rolling hills, some ponds and stuff. Yeah, old
Really
trees.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're anxiously waiting because I know with our foundation, the Pipehitter Foundation, we're going to be involved in some form or fashion. We talked to
Definitely.
Julie about that.
Yep. That's the other thing. She wants it to be a way that not only supports veterans and their families, but provides opportunities, right?
Yeah,
And what's the saying? Rising tide raises all boats.
raises all ships.
Yeah. So what I'm finding is the good nonprofits that I've been interacting with, they want to help, right? Because they know like there's a huge need and we can't do it all on our own.
Sure.
And so anyway, her vision is to have 7 of these, but she's focused on Defuniak Springs first. Big push. If we were hoping to break ground, meaning start building the first.
You've already broken
phase.
ground, but
Broke
to
ground
go
on
vertical?
utilities, but that to go vertical. That's right.
Yeah.
The first phase, if you will,
That this coming
this
year.
early this year. That's
Nice.
right. And I think we're going to be on track. We got to have some. We have some. Right now, we're in kind of leadership phase of looking at potential donors and meeting with them. You know, it's all about relationships. They need to know where you're coming from and what it's about.
How much do y'all need to raise to get the first building up?
2.5 million, because
Is that 2.5?
2.5, which would be 5 million.
5, okay,
That's right.
gotcha.
Because the silent donor is going to match that. So
What a good man.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Number
Yeah,
8.
that's right. Yep. Anyway, we're just excited to be a part of it. We'll see. I keep thinking back to the theme of looking back. I look forward to 2 years from now. We're out there looking, going, man, look at this.
Yeah,
Look at where we are, and the veterans we're helping and their families and stuff, and saying, man, I'm glad I was a part of that. You know, so whatever you guys can do to tell people about it, to send people our way.
Yeah.
We have a really good website. Recently got the Facebook page up, under my name, so I can do some updates, Instagram, that kind of stuff. But I'm open to advice on like any of that kind of stuff because I'm a novice at best social media guy.
Yeah.
But to get views and stuff.
Yeah.
We recently put out a video. I have a YouTube link to it where myself, Julie, and her 2 board members are really impressive guys. One is Marius van der Riet, who is a South African Army, retired as a brigadier general, changed his residency and became an American 20 years ago, raised most of his family in America. Really strong Christian, believes in the love of veterans and stuff. And then she has another guy named Lupton Pittman, who was a Navy veteran, who also a government contractor. So Marius, after he retired and became an American, he started a government contracting business, and very, very successful. It's called Reed International. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I'd never heard of it, but the more he told me about it, I was like, yeah, I probably interacted with your guys. Yeah. So, but they're real supportive. They're reaching out to their network. Anyway, the more we can tell people about it, get the word out, I think people are going to be like, I want to be a part of that. What can we do to be a part of that? So
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we'll for sure leave the link.
yeah, we're gonna put the link.
Your socials.
Where to donate, and then you said you have your social media handle and everything built up now.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I just got access to the Facebook. I'm going to start an Instagram. The Facebook is dated because they had a Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's dated. So we're going to do some updated posts on it tonight to get it. And then what, yeah. So we have a LinkedIn already, but it's old and it's not been updated. So I'll update it, or Julie will.
Yeah.
And,
Cool.
And it's just getting the word. And then like people want to talk about it, just reach out, let me know, and we'll come brief them on it. We're
Are
developing.
you open if people are like, hey, I can't match anywhere near 2.5 million. I can give $50 a month.
Absolutely.
Like,
So back to what I said is most of the donations we have now are $50 a month. One time $1,000, one time $250. But people that are saying, hey, I want to partner, I want to help. I'm getting tons of messages from people like, hey, how do I help? And I'm like, well, you tell me how you want to help, right? How you can help. and to the point of finding people's strengths, right?
Yeah.
And utilizing those strengths.
Which is tough. It can be a tough deal. It'd almost be better if people reached out to you and said, "Hey, I'm a tech guy or I'm an SEO guy. Like I can help, get your rankings better or whatever."
Absolutely. I've had some people from the nonprofit world say, "Hey, I want to connect you with other bigger nonprofits." I'm really hoping to get in with the people from Wounded Warrior Project because they're one of the biggest veterans organizations and I don't think they can spend all the money they're bringing in. I think they would be a good supporter. Tunnel to Towers is another one that raises a lot of money. But we're still kind of in the leadership phase and figuring that out. But
gotcha. Is there? I mean, are y'all pretty open as far as, hey, if we are a big nonprofit helping vets, could we get an office there? Or we have something else built.
Yeah. Actually, and we also have a list of naming rights. So, like for the X amount of donation, you can name a cottage after you. X amount donation. The chapel could be named, the Chick-fil-A chapel or whatever, right? Reality is, I think
Eddie Gallagher Hall.
The Eddie Gallagher Hall, absolutely. Well, I reached out to
Gallagher Hall.
I reached out to my Navy EOD buddies, and I'm like, "Hey guys, like, it would be really cool to have like the boathouse named after the EOD." Navy EOD Association or whatever, right? So, there's a lot of opportunity for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
It's much needed. I mean, and the thing is, it's crazy. It's like there is a plethora of organizations out there that do help veterans, but I think having a place that's like a one-stop shop where it's like you come in, it's like, dude, there's a buffet of treatments here. You bring your family with you.
Zero cost to the veterans.
Yeah.
Too. We're not talking... however we're going to do that, and Julie has plans for all that, but zero cost to the veterans, right? Magnus Veteran Foundation told me he does a thing where for $50 a month, they can someone can sponsor a person. So
I like that.
So basically,
when it becomes personal and I mean, think of like some of the best Christian organizations. Like you're sponsoring some kid and he's sending you letters.
Right.
You feel like you're helping this specific person.
I really think, absolutely. Back to what we need to raise, I really think just like writing a paper in college or whatever, the hardest part is getting going or getting started again. You know what you're going to write a paper about 5 years ago, and then you're like, oh, I got to dust off my thoughts and whatever, and getting going. And I think we with a lot of donations we gotten, but smaller amounts, I think it's a good start. But I think once we start getting bigger donations and we can start breaking ground and having events out there, I think people are going to be like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, and I think that's where, I mean, with social media and everything, once you guys start breaking ground and you can actually show like, hey, it's being built.
That's right.
That will attract people's attention and be like, okay, this thing is actually happening.
Right.
I want to be involved or I want to donate in some form or fashion. I would say, for the social media, which I am
a pro at.
Yeah.
Are you?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I'm constant.
So I think I clicked on
humble.
a Eddie Gallagher link the other day, and I keep getting these creatine gummy ads.
Oh
on my
yeah,
Facebook
tasty
page.
gains.
So I got to try them now, dude.
Hey, they're not bad. We got some. I think we got some here.
Maybe we can link you to Veterans Lodge.
Well, I definitely want to be involved in some way. We've talked to Julie about that. Even if it's as little as like, I want to come in and talk to veterans about transition and just struggles and like, just be open and honest and be like, hey, because I think a lot of the times.
You and Andrea.
Well, yeah, Andrea
Absolutely.
with the wives and
that's
everything else. Because I think a lot of it, guys think that they're the only ones going through it. Right. That's why guys
Or I
isolate.
don't have it as bad as that guy. I don't need it.
that's
Dude, I've heard this
the
100 times.
comparison, Yeah.
Yeah, the home base. I'm like, hey, buddy, you need to go to home. Master Chief, are you going to home base? No, man, there's other people that need it more than me. No. Don't, like, I'm a retired 06. And, like, I felt that way.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, there's other people who need it before me, right? Like, no.
But that's the beauty of the job that we left, right?
That's right.
Everyone has that same mindset. Like, no, you send this guy.
That's
Like,
right.
Even though
That's right.
You know what I mean? And that's what's beautiful about the military as a whole. Where I think I thought of when you were talking about it earlier, where there's guys that you worked with, like, dude, I don't like that guy or he's a pain in the ass, but I love him.
That's right.
There is that love. Like, doesn't matter. Hey, we're all on the same team here. I'm gonna take and I think that's what's missing from society and as a whole, where I could dislike Dave for whatever, but he's on my team. I'm going to take a bullet for him. I'm going to die for this individual, even though I don't like how he leads his life. Lives his life. That doesn't matter because this is what we serve for.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think society could take a lot from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you came in today, and I'm glad you have this new mission for Veterans Lodge and getting the word out.
Oh, I'm
I
excited
want to see it happen.
Yeah, to your point on waking up, like I have this other job where I'm getting paid 20 hours. Well, I hadn't worked 20-hour week with them yet, but I've been working 10, 15-hour weeks, and I'm getting paid okay money. But like I don't wake up thinking about it. Veterans Lodge, I wake up thinking about it, and I'm like going to bed, and this is all pro bono for me right now. Like I'm like I just want to help, right? But it is driving me, and it's doing me better than anything to be able to support and be a part of it. And I appreciate you guys having me here to talk about it.
No, appreciate you coming. Yeah.
Appreciate it so much. We got a little gift for you.
Yeah. So we got each guest. We have Firecracker Farms is a sponsor of this podcast. The guy Alex who runs her own Firecracker Farms. Phenomenal.
It's not weed, is it? Because I don't do weed.
No. You could sprinkle it on some weed if you wanted to. I mean, no, this is actually hot salt. So if you
sweet.
Yeah, if you're a big foodie, I'm a big one with steaks and everything.
Yeah.
Else. This is just a great seasoning to put on anything.
Sweet.
It's got just a tiny bit of heat to it. I think in there.
What kind is that one?
This one is the Three Kings. So this is like, decent hot.
But then
This is my favorite, Pineapple Express. So you can take this, once you're out of this, you can just refill it. That's a whole other flavor there.
Nice.
It's huge. The guy who owns it, Alex, is phenomenal.
incredible.
Yeah.
Well, mine's not as sexy, and if you go to Vegas and you put it on the table, they'll probably laugh at you. But there's my retirement poker chip. So anyway,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, seriously.
Likewise.
And thank you
But
for
we are
your
the best.
have 30 something. How many years?
36.
3.5 decades. But
Yeah. Well, it needs to be said because that's a long time, man, to
that's
serve
so
this country. And I know you probably feel the same way when people say thank you for your service, but still,
I hear you,
that's
brother.
3.5
Likewise.
decades is a long time.
yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
All right.
Awesome.
Nice.
Out. Hey, what's up, guys? So when I'm not doing the podcast, I'm doing a lot of traveling. I put on training all over the country for LE and civilians. I also travel a lot for my nonprofit, the Pipe Hitter Foundation. And as you guys know, travel, going back and forth can wear you down. But this past year, I have found the antidote. So let me put you on to Aquavita, Destin's premier IV therapy and oxygen bar. This place is owned and operated by a board-certified ER physician with over 23 years of experience, so you know your health is in good hands. Every IV drip is mixed to Board of Pharmacy standards and backed by CDC-level infection control. Whether you're dealing with a fatigue, a hangover, jet lag, stress, immunity issues, or even PMS, they've got custom vitamin drips and boosters tailored just for that. When you go inside, the place is pretty awesome. It puts you at ease right when you go in there. They have comfy lounge chairs, which are perfect for singles or couples, full group sessions. And you can even book the whole space for bachelor or bachelorette parties, race day recovery, or wellness events. While you're in there, they go the extra mile too. They'll give you blankets, sleep masks, earplugs, aromatherapy oxygen, all complimentary. And the best part, every visit includes direct care from the physician and experienced RNs, all focused on fast, safe, and affordable wellness. So if you're in the Destin area, hit up Aquavita. Your body will definitely thank you.